Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another rules breakdown. And this week I would like to present Eternus, or the quick start version of it. Now this came out recently on Drive-Thru RPG, and it's a fantastically interesting setting, and it's got very different rules to most role-playing games out there. There's a lot to like in this. Now these are quick start rules, so they are stripped down version. There's going to be elements missing from the full game. In fact, the full character advancement section's missing. So I'll be skipping over that. But the problem with this quick start is it's not terribly well formatted, as well as the usual typos and formatting issues which you can expect in a early release set of rules. These aren't laid out very logically. Some of the rules are very different places. So to find out how you do something can involve flicking through a lot of pages. I would have preferred it laid out in a very simple fashion for me to read through. Unfortunately, that's not how it's worked, so I may be making mistakes here. I think I've got a grasp on how the rule system works, and it seems to make sense. But if you have read through them and you spot any differences, then please let me know, and I will pin your comment down below. So if you think the rules don't make any sense, look for pinned comments where I will stand corrected. But there's a lot to like in here. So let's have a look through the rules of Eternus. So as usual, I'm going to use a sample character, and I'm going to use the final one in the book, which is Naimi Wayfinder here, on page 29. Now, she appears to be a fairly knowledgeable character, and that's not why I've chosen her. I chose her simply because she was the final one, so fairly easy to find. Now, she's of the caste Voyager and the archetype Explorer. She's got an authority of 0, an Eternus of 1, a focus of 2, a physique of 1, and a training of 1. And they basically line up, so her authority is her social status, how high in the noble order she is. She obviously has 0, she's not very high up in it, but as well as social interaction, commanding people around because you're a noble, this is also things you've learnt as a noble, and nobles will tend to have access to more high-tech equipment. So authority is about commanding not only people, but electronic devices. The Eternus is the magical sort of force power in the Eternus universe, and she has 1, so she's got some power with it. Focus is how sharp-minded you are, how attentive, how quickly you learn. So your basic intelligence, focus of 2 is pretty good. Physique is your physical abilities, how fast you can run, jump, etc. She's got 1. And your training is how much you've been taught things, your education. And 1 is fairly average at that as well. Now, to do things in Eternus, you are not rolling against skills, you're rolling plays. So let's say the group's in a situation where they're trying to find their way into somewhere. They're questioning people and trying to find a way through a security system. The group will decide what they're doing, and everybody rolls 1d6. So let's say there's 4 players, we roll 4d6. We've got a 5, 2 4s, and a 1 there. Well, one player can be trying to request information, requesting a favour of a character you're interacting with. So they're speaking to the guard and trying to get through. And that requires a 4. So the players allocate one of those 4s to him. But Naimi here is trying to discover something. Well, she is using a 4 as well. So she takes the 4 of the 5, and she would succeed. And so on around the party. But let's say she'd rolled low, and she'd failed at the discover roll, because this is a pool so people can allocate out of it. So if other people are doing more important things, they will be taking the high dice rolls. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean it fails, because there can be modifiers. For discover, for example, Naimi here has a matter scanner, which gives a +2 to her discover. So she could take the 5 and turn it into a 7 if the target number was way up there for some reason, or change that 1 into a 3, which would still fail, but mean a much closer thing. Games Masters can also modify dice rolls, adding bonuses or penalties depending on the situation. Now, if Naomi had used that 1, because the other dice had gone, using the matter scanner, she's got 3. There's still another way she can get past that total of 4 to succeed, because there's favour. Every character starts each adventure with 3 favour, which is your divine favour from the goddess which controls the universe, or controls the human universe. With those, you can change target numbers by 1. So by spending 1 favour, she could get an extra bonus and turn her 1 plus the device to a 3 plus the favour to a 4 and succeed. But that will be spending that point of favour. Now you can gain favour back through the adventure by doing things which inspire the goddess, doing heroic actions, or entertaining the group through witty play, great ideas. The Games Master can allocate you more favour. And of course, for the opposite things, you can lose favour without spending them. So if Naomi here is trying to do something by herself, so she's a group of 1, that doesn't necessarily mean she rolls a single dice. What it means is she's basing it on her attributes. So if she's doing a focus-based play, so discover or dodge, she's rolling 2 dice. For the others, she's rolling 1 dice, and for authority, she's rolling 0 dice. But that doesn't mean she can't do anything authority-based, because no matter what size the group, you've got the backing of your domain, your noble house that you belong to. And that adds a value equal to its level. So if you've got a domain of 3, then you've got a 3 as if you'd rolled a 3 in your dice pool. So Naomi could use a 3 towards authority ones, even though she's not rolling any dice herself. Or the group working together would have an extra dice with a 3 on it. And if they've got noble house with a 5 or a 6, then they've got that available to the pool. Now initiative's really simple. You don't roll any dice, everybody gets 1 action. Or rather, they get 1 action and 1 move action. So they can do 2 plays, 1 based on an action, 1 play based on a move. And all the players go, then all the NPCs go. And it's as simple as that. Players go first, 1 action, 1 move. NPCs go 1 action, 1 move. That's it. Now in combat, everybody gets to roll 3 dice. So if we select 3d6, and we throw them, got a 6, a 5, and a 6. That's a good roll. However, that doesn't allow us to do absolutely everything. Because even though our highest target numbers here are 4s, and we've got a 5 here for one of the powerful abilities, these dice rolls are affected by the enemy. So there's only 1 enemy in the book, Grendel Warrior. If I flick on a few pages, we've got a Grendel Warrior here, who is rank 3. Which means that he downgrades all the dice rolls by 3 points because he's powerful. So instead of a 6, a 5, and a 6, you've got a 3, a 2, and a 3. However, these can be allocated out. So if, for example, Naomi here wanted to use Overcharge, which only requires a 1, so she can use the lowest dice here, which has been reduced to a 2. She then gets a bonus to her rank and a bonus to burst for her weapon next time she fires a plasma rifle. So then she can do the attack with the plasma rifle, requiring only a +1, but she's got a bonus from her overcharge, and she can hit the higher target numbers, or past a higher ranked enemy. So you can activate abilities with some dice while boosting other dice to achieve your goals. So the dice rolls are very flexible. Now, assuming Naomi is attacking the Grendel, we saw the dice roll, she's managed to succeed a hit. And we look at the weapon, and she can see that you've got a plasma rifle with a strength of 2. So if we look at the Grendel, we can see the Grendel has a protection of 2. So it's actually immune to the plasma rifle. Its damage has been reduced to 0, and it's unaffected. However, going back to the character sheet again, we can see that every character has the distract play. It's an authority roll requiring 1 on a dice, and it reduces the enemy rank by 1. But what that doesn't say is it can reduce the enemy rank or protection by 1. It details that elsewhere in the rules. So you can lower their armor so other weapons can affect, or you can lower their rank so more people can hit it. So Distract encourages the group to work together, with some players distracting enemies and making them easier to hit or damage. But that's against NPCs. Going the reverse way, damage coming into players. Well, obviously you can attempt to dodge to cancel the enemy attack, which is a reaction. So you can allocate one of your dice, if you've done particularly well, to dodge out of the way and not take any damage at all. It must be pointed out that you get a -1 on all your dodge rolls if you're unarmored. So leather armor is the absolute basic, which reduces that to just an ordinary roll, and better armor will improve on your dodge and help you avoid damage. If you do receive damage though, if we go back to the Grendel and say it was attacking and it hit, it can be using its Razor Claws with a strength of 3. Well, what happens is you now receive 3 stress. So you roll a dice and see whether you get under that. So we roll it and we rolled a 1, so we've rolled under our stress. Now, because we've rolled under the stress is reduced to 0 again, but we receive the type of damage that the attack did. So we flick back to the Grendel and look at what they did. We can see the Razor Claws do a wound. So the character has received a level 3 wound in here to their physique. So they get penalty on physique rolls because they have received a wound to it. But the stress is reduced back to 0. If it hadn't, the next time they received an attack, it would add to the stress, and rolling 1d6 would stand a better chance of succeeding and them receiving whatever it is. So disgraced, cursed, dazzled, wounded, or stunned, reducing each of those attributes. Now, each of the statuses, as they accrue points, have different effects. Basically, each has a value of 5. Now, if you become disgraced up to level 5 by taking damage of that type, then you are exiled from polite society and your character becomes an NPC. So you've essentially died. If you become cursed level 5, then you're cut off from the Eternus and you've lost all your abilities with that. If you become dazzled at level 5, then you're cut off from reality. Your character's insane, delusional, etc. And if you're wounded or stunned up to level 5, you die. You've either received wounds too much, or the shock to your system's too much, and you suffer a fatal heart attack. But basically, you've got 5 levels of those. Now, the Quickstarter rules do not detail how to heal up from those. I would estimate that resting would calm them down, but it's possible you have to do other things to get rid of disgrace or curses. We will have to wait for the full version of the rules to come out to see. So that's a very brief look through the Eternus Quickstart rules. As expected for Quickstart, they are very cut down. I didn't expect there to be any character advancement, but I really expect there to be healing in there. The fact that you receive wounds, they apparently are eternal. Now, while that can make it a fun, high turnover, test play adventure, I don't think it gives the tone of the game, unless characters are just going to die every time they take a few wounds. Especially as everybody only needs 5 wounds to die. But anyway, I think I've whittled on for quite long enough as usual, so thank you very, very much for watching. But as always, most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.